Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. Now with babies.
Now with babies.
Mm-hmm.
Not appropriate. Cover your ears.
Okay. Our party is... We've created an elemental staff. It's not magical yet. We have done Mark of Recall. We've done a tune, but maybe we should flesh it out all the way.
Okay. I don't really have hands to type it out, but I will get to that eventually.
I can type, but as long as you can talk.
Okay. So the spell synchronizes the caster with the resonant frequency of a weapon of natural material. You can flip the subject and object of that sentence based on whatever sounds best. And then what? So this allows, or this makes the weapon an extension of the caster's body. Oh, bless you. Allowing touch attacks to be cast through the weapon and enabling it to be used as if it were a martial arts weapon.
Okay.
I think that's the extent of it, more or less. Is there anything that needs to be clarified?
So level.
I think it's a second level spell.
I think it's a second level spell. Yeah. Sphere or school.
Enchantment, alteration, abjuration, or enchantment.
I think enchantment makes the most sense.
Okay.
Somatic components.
Yeah.
Verbal components. Is there a material associated
component,
with this?
I think it's just, I mean, we could have like a tuning fork or something if you want arbitrary material components, but mostly it's the weapon to be enchanted.
Yeah. Material components are going to be just the weapon.
Okay. I think it's got a 10-minute casting time and a ranged touch. God, I'm just covered in drool.
Nice. Drool on him more, baby.
What?
It's adorable, you know?
I'm fishing for views over here.
You know, I have heard my female friends say there is nothing hotter than a young dad with their child alone. I think this is prime. Well, you know,
alone?
like
not
the
needing
context
mom
has
to-
been. Yeah, the context has been like we're out with friends, and they'll be like, "There's a single dad with the kid walking down the street," and the girl's like, "Oh my god, that's it."
Yeah.
So I think you're.
You agree,
doing
baby?
It.
Casting time 10 minutes. Range touch. AoE the one thing. Duration 24 hours.
Ooh, yeah, duration.
Yeah. Now, question, should I be muting myself, or do the baby noises add to the experience?
Ooh, I don't mind them, but I don't know
Compared to
if...
the audio issues we usually have. What are Twitch's terms of service for exploiting babies for Twitch views?
If they're allowing people to do what they call hot tub streams these days, you can have a baby on your shoulder.
They can't discriminate against me for being a parent.
God. I was just introduced to this concept yesterday.
Of the hot tub streams?
Yeah, I've heard people talk about it, but I saw my first one yesterday, and what qualified
really
as a hot tub stream
What qualifies as a hot tub?
It's like an inflatable kiddie pool in someone's living room, and you're like, this is not a hot tub conversation stream. This is just softcore porn. What is this? What is going on here? It's ooh. My God. So I think you can get away with a child on your shoulder. So we've got attunement. I've got the text of it plus some other notes scribbled down, and I will try to. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
How much do you have to make during your next marathon to get a hot tub? Do a Koibu hot tub stream. You'd probably need to wear a bikini top, right?
Even if I'm a dude? I don't think so.
I think so, right? I'm pretty sure. No,
Twitch nipples are different. They are acceptable.
I think, no, we talked about this a few years ago. I think Twitch banned.
They did, but I think they undid the ban on man nips when they've been changing their what's acceptable
there are, like,
all over the place.
Streamers that will like film their workouts, and sometimes they'll be.
According to AO and Gideon, man nips are fine now.
Oh, in that case.
Yes. Hot tub costs are 5,000 to 8,000 for the. You know,
you wouldn't do a kiddie pool. You would demand that Twitch pay for you to actually get a hot tub.
I mean, if I'm gonna get a hot tub, I'm gonna get a hot tub. I'm not gonna get like some piece of shit kiddie pool and fill it with water and put it in my living room.
This might need to be a Patreon tier because there are monthly costs associated with a hot tub.
Mm-hmm. Then we'd have to do like weekly or monthly hot tub streams, and without you around to join, it's not the same.
I'll join. You just got.
We'll fly you out,
right? Yeah. You got to budget that in. Yeah,
it'll be right. For a certain Patreon tier. We'll get a hot tub, and then we'll fly Ryan out once a month to just chill in the hot tub, drink beer, and talk something. We can make this happen.
We'll play D&D from the hot tub.
Mm-hmm. We'll get floaty dice, and you roll them, and then you just kind of see what ends up where the bubbles end up floating.
Nice. Oh, love bites from a hot tub. There you go.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
All right. Let's see if Baby will sit down and watch us. She might not. That might get annoying. All right, chat. Let me know if my child falls over.
You can't see her.
Good. That's. So this is a preview of what Dicing with Death will be for the foreseeable future. Baby Twitch. The frequent breaks and yeah.
And musical toys.
Mm-hmm.
Great. It's time to play some sort of like version of Dicing with Death where you play as infants somewhere, so the baby sounds in the background add to the ambience.
Is this not super? This is like super creepy carnival music. This could be in a tabletop audio soundtrack.
Uh-huh.
All right. Attunement.
Okay. Attunement done.
And I should probably earmark 7 MP for attunement.
Yes.
Bring it in. One less fireball. Yeah.
Oh. Silver handle.
Let's keep it moving.
Sorry, I had to make some notes. Yeah.
We got about 5 minutes before baby meltdown. So
excellent. All right, so we've got attunement. We've got a trollish fortitude potion, and was there any other potion?
Elemental pike?
Right, and the pike. Did we have other potions?
That was just the one that popped to mind based on spells that I have.
Okay. Do you have magic missile as a spell?
Psh, what kind of basic ass wizard do you think I am?
Does that mean yes or no?
No, I don't have a magic missile.
Okay.
Why?
I was gonna do a wand of magic missiles as a suggested next thing, but we don't.
Why? Just because you want to know how it gets made?
Yeah. But we don't have to do that. We can do anything else. I'm just surveying the landscape.
Wand of I don't know.
Potions. Yeah, do you got any wands you want to make?
I'm looking at spells that I have that might be useful to have.
You got like enlarge.
I do have enlarge. We can do that. Shadow Snap could be a fun item. Maybe like a permanent Shadow Snap dagger. Baby's trying to roll over.
It just fell down.
She wiggled down. She's working on rolling over. So, look at her go.
Halfway.
Look at her go.
Oh, almost. She's trying so hard.
Yeah.
So a shadow snap dagger that you like throw at people and shadow snaps them?
Yeah, I think essentially it would, I mean, it wouldn't be a I think essentially it would be a wand of shadow snaps, but it would be in the form of a dagger.
So like, would you throw it or would you like wave it and it then would produce a second blade?
Oh, so maybe this is in the realm of a permanent weapon or a permanent magic item. I think it would be basically a wand, but but it will be, but you can't use it back to back to back, right? Like while it's shadow snap someone.
Right, you would have to pull it out of the ground, which would release the shadow snap, and then you could throw it again.
So maybe this doesn't count as a wand, but maybe it is a 9th level because it's a charged magical item, right?
Yeah, you can do this feature with it a number of times, and then it runs out of charges.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it.
Yeah. Does that function as a... You can't make wands until level 11 though, right? So we'll put a pause on this. But I think that will be one of the first charged magical items.
I think you're right. I think you need to enchant an item, which is the 6th level spell. I think you actually need to be 12 to do it then.
Yeah.
Ugh. Okay. So we're still at the potion and scroll era of magical item creation.
What about a potion of enlarge? Is that a potion that exists? If not, it should be.
It should be. Let me take a look at my potion list. Gaseous form, invisibility, reduction, reduces in size. That's basically the reverse of enlarge.
Yeah. That could be cool.
It has a 300 XP for it, which is interesting. And reduces the user to... Well, it does reduce a person to 10% of their size. That's a pretty big...
That's 9th level.
Yeah, that's a strong effect right there.
Oh. I mean... Yeah. I think useful items to... Like, armor spell would be good to put on a scroll. Because then I can free up those MPs. What are you laughing at?
You said armor scroll?
I think so.
Yeah.
Although an armor potion or like a potion of... Like, does that feel right? Having like a potion of spirit armor or a potion of armor?
That doesn't feel right to me. That feels weird.
Yeah.
I think like a potion has to affect the body in some way and it not like create effects around you, but will modify your something. Like, you know, it can make you fall in love, it can make you breathe fire, but it won't create a shield around you.
What about a potion of dispelling? Like you drink it to clear magical effects on the user.
Ooh, that is a potion that exists in the DMG.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just saw it like half an hour ago. It is called a potion of... Oh, no, it's an oil of disenchantment. That's different.
Similar, but...
Yeah, there's sim. Let me take a look at oil of disenchantment for us here. Yeah, do they not? They list it in the list of potions. Oh, here it is. Never mind. This oil enables the removal of all enchantments and charms placed upon living things and the suppression of such effects on objects. If the oil is rubbed in a creature, all enchantments and charms on it are immediately removed. If rubbed onto objects bearing an enchantment, the magic will be lost for d10 plus 20 turns. After this time, the oil loses potency, and the item regains its enchantment. The oil does not radiate magic once it is applied, and masks the enchantment of whatever it coats, so that an item coated will not show any enchantment for as long as the oil remains active. Ooh, pretty cool.
So does it just conceal enchantments, or does it actually...
It will, like, temporarily disenchant them, or, like, turn them non-magical for a period of 21 to 30 minutes. No, 21 to 30 turns, so 210 to 300 minutes. How does shirt get more and more drool on it? I'm glad he picked this color of shirt today. Really makes it stand out.
I'm gonna go pass her off to Mom. I think
Okay.
she's getting ready for a nap. And then I will explain the drool.
Woo! Dicing with Death has certainly entered into a new era, everyone.
I may have been able to rock her down in my arms, but with Mom home, this is just easier.
Makes sense.
She might be producing her first tooth, so she's especially drooly, but also babies just drool.
They just drool. Yeah.
Oil of disenchantment, or like a potion of disenchantment, like something that you drink to like dispel negative buffs that have been cast on you.
Yeah.
Probably all buffs, but
Yeah. So the oil removes enchantments and charms placed on a person. But that doesn't necessarily mean... What does that mean? Does that mean... Like, if you've cast
Sounds
enlarge
like
on
any-
yourself and you rub yourself with an oil of disenchantment, are you no longer enlarged?
I think so.
Okay, so does this already cover the things that we want? Or is there another function or item in here?
It sounds like that already covers it, actually.
Okay.
So we're talking oil of disenchantment and potion of enlarge, which, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Take a quick look over here. Spells, items. Usually potions effects extend to other creatures. It's spelled normally. Potions consumed within an anti-magic shell do not activate until they leave the area of control. Shell, temporary effects made permanent, blah, 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 blah. Potion of vitality. Okay, no one really talks specifically about an oil of disenchantment. I have... Yeah, okay, cool. So did we want to do a potion of enlarge? Because I've got a potion of reduce, but nothing of enlarge.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
think these are things that are worth that Devon would experiment with, just because those are the spells that he has.
Mm-hmm. So would that be a potion of growth then?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There
Well,
you
it
go.
doesn't exist. Does it? I don't think it's in the DMG.
There is a potion of growth. Wait, in combat and tactics?
Yeah, the DMG doesn't have a potion of growth listed.
Growth potion DMG. But it might be listed.
Oh, no, it is here. Why did I not find it in the description?
Oh, each fourth causes it to grow 6 feet in height.
Weight and weight of creature to consume. Grams worn carried also grow in size. Each fourth of the liquid tube has a 6 feet of height growth. Full potion increases height by 24 feet. Weight should increase proportional to the change of height. Strength is increased sufficiently to allow bearing armor and weapons commensurate with the strength increase, but does not provide combat bonuses. Movement increases to that of a giant of approximately equal size.
That's weird. Like, what is that's like purely RP, isn't it? And movement speed.
You can reach things, and I think you could probably like lift things that are larger, but no damage bonus. The movement speed change is interesting because I think most giants have 12 movement speed.
No, they have like 18 or 24.
Mountain giant has movement 12. Stone giant has movement 12. Frost giant has movement 12 with 15 in brackets. Hill giant has movement speed 12. Storm giants have movement 15. Wood giants have movement speed 12. Which is weird in and of itself. Fog giants have movement 15. Fire giants have 12. Furbolg giants have 15. Bizarre.
Super weird.
Yeah. I've always thought giants should be faster than people. There are some movement speed problems in second edition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
What is your goal with trying to create these potions? Do you want potions to exist in the world, or do you want... Or what are you thinking? Are you just playing with the system?
I want to get comfortable. More comfortable with magic item creation, so I have a better idea of how it happens, so I can more quickly make judgments about magic items on the fly. So I just want to, spend some time thinking about them and delving into them and discussing effects and processes and how long they take. Like the reminder that they cost 1 GP per XP does help set the expectation that a healing potion, if you needed to buy it, would have a bare minimum cost of 200 gold, because that's what it takes to build it. And then
probably double that to most items,
at least.
Yeah Like materials cost for weapons is usually half of their value. Is that typical?
Something like that.
So I think 400 gold for a healing potion sounds about right.
Yeah. Not that I want to bring us into a magic item economy, but sometimes these things do come up and you need some rough approximations.
I mean, you don't give out gold, so how would anyone ever buy a magic item?
You got to work for the things you want.
You pinch your coppers, and eventually you'll have 4,000.
What do you think this is? Communist Arcadia? You think we're just going to give you money? Pfft, have to work for it.
So Potion of Growth sounds stupid, but we can flesh it out if you want.
I guess, but it's already here. You need the spell Enlarge.
Mm-hmm. Where are you taking notes? Is this some table or something? Or
yeah, this is in my Scrivener document that has all my notes on potions and magic items. So it takes the Enlarge spell. The effect is each... Ooh. What is it?
I mean, this is already in the DMG. You don't need to copy it down.
Yeah. Okay.
What about a Potion of Tongues?
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Is there any potion that gives you language abilities? Let's look in.
Potion of clairaudience, dragon control,
really?
ESP, gaseous form. No. Ventriloquism and clairaudience are the closest thing we get, and ESP to communication potions.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the Encyclopedia Magica, but
yeah, they've got everything though.
Hmm.
Every harebrained idea that anyone had ever come up with, whether it was good or not, they added.
Ooh, dusts.
What a monumental feat it would have been putting together this book. Cure disease. Potion of language learning.
That probably gives you a permanent language, doesn't it?
When consumed, this potion allows the imbiber to master an unknown language by concentrating on a race of people or type of creature. Each flask typically contains 4 doses of the potion. Each dose enables learning of a new language. Languages learned are permanent. Polyhedron newzine, not magazine, not newspaper, newzine, issue 65. That was a bad idea. Have one of tongue. Potion of sobriety. Consumer of this potion becomes instantly sober, no matter how intoxicated at the time. Nice. Potion of tongues. There are 5 variations of this potion. Each may be used by any character class. Every tongues potion provides magical linguistic abilities to the character who swallowed it for 1d4 plus 1 turns.
So you found Potion of Tongues?
Yeah. One is tongues, one is speak with animals, one is speak with dead, one is speak with monsters, one is speak with plants. So it's got a few different varieties. This is also Polyhedron News Zine issue 65.
Banger of an issue.
Oh man, they did a lot of potions here. They also have a potion of truth, tragic heroism.
Oh, what is that?
Skit.
What is tragic? I've got to know what tragic heroism is.
The elixir works as a potion of superheroism with the following additional effect. All monsters within 20 feet of the character quaffing the potion stop whatever they're doing and attack the character. The monsters fight until they are slain or the character dies. To paladins and other heroic figures, this potion has considerable appeal.
Is it within 20 feet?
Yeah, within 20 feet.
That's not even that much, but...
No. There's a potion of thinness from Polyhedron Newzine 65. When consumed, the drinker's trunk size is reduced from normal proportions to paper thinness. This permits the character to pass through cracks and flatten against the wall to hide. Also reduces the character's weight to that of parchment.
Okay. I thought it was going to be purely cosmetic, but...
No.
I'm feeling like any potion we can come up with has already been invented.
Maybe, but we can probably come up with better versions of them. Or, there's also need like ingredients and processes to create these things.
Yeah.
Which don't come with these. And I don't always agree with the way that they word these things. Like that potion of growth.
Why
seems...
not? I mean, they wanted to make it different from the enlarged spell, I think.
I suppose.
Or maybe they weren't even maybe this was like some other designer's idea of what enlarged should be.
And so they said, you get the spell version, you get the potion version.
Something like that. Or they probably just weren't talking to each other, but yeah.
Well, what do you think the process? for a potion of growth would be. I already have the ingredients written down from sometime before. A petal of a flower that grows in the footprint of a reptilian gargantua. I've no idea where I got that ingredient from. I might have gotten it from the Monstrous Manual, actually.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet ingredient need.
Where could I find... Oh, I know where to find a reptilian gargantua.
Where?
The forest in the upper west corner of this continent.
Yes. The upper west. I like how you think. Reptilia gargantua have two properties useful to humans. The petal of any flower that grows in the footprint of the reptilian gargantua can serve as a component for the potion of growth. Such a flower must grow naturally in the footprint. It cannot have been planted there by a human or other intelligent being. As noted above, thunderstorms occur when a reptilian gargantua is born. If a dead creature of any kind is struck by a lightning bolt from such a storm, the bolt acts as a resurrection spell.
Wow.
Sweet Jesus. Basically Godzilla.
So there's probably other components for an enlarged potion, maybe, or for a potion of growth.
I mean, things other than this, or things in addition to this?
Can act, but things
Right.
in addition, like you could use something else.
Mm-hmm. So what else do you think would be a suitable?
I was thinking giant parts, like a.
Like hair from a giant or something?
Yeah, that's typical strength, right?
Mhm.
Maybe it'd have to be other giant parts.
You got to eat some Rocky Mountain oysters of a giant.
Oh, that's spicy.
Mm-hmm.
I was like maybe fingers or toes.
Oh, that's maybe a little bit better. Yeah.
The liver. Yikes.
Definitely something that the giant would miss, right? Not something that you can happily walk away with.
That might be rare enough. Like the Gargantua one, in theory, you can just go to Gargantua territory and roll enough herbalism checks or whatever to find one.
Right, but if you're also like walking around in Gargantua territory looking at their footprints for a flower to bloom, then you're also, in theory, exposing yourself to a gargantuan creature, right?
Mm-hmm. Are they particularly hostile?
I think they're just particularly dangerous because of their sheer size, you know? And I guess even if it's not that dangerous, like even if they're not likely to find you or whatnot, that's still a rarity. Gargantuas get 3 attacks at plus 15 each, 3d10, 3d10, and 6d10 damage.
Why do they, like, this game is so unbalanced. Like, there is no PC that can handle 60 damage. Right? Even like a level 20 warrior maybe has 60 HP.
Well, 6d10 is going to be 33 damage on average.
Oh, okay. I guess so.
You're probably not going to get much above 45, but that's still enough to practically kill you.
Hit dice 50.
I mean, this isn't even countering if it's moving up right, it can trample victims for 10d10 damage. It continually sweeps the ground with its massive tail, swinging 90 feet behind it to each side. Any creature within range of the tail must make a saving throw versus death or suffer 8d10 hit points damage. That's just passive ability. So, yeah.
I guess you just like... It's like you need stone skin to handle these monsters. Hello.
Yeah, but then it's broken because you got stone skin. You can just ignore 2 rounds of Gargantua attacks and kill it.
Mm-hmm.
You're just immune to it for 2 rounds. Stone skin's so broken. We need a spell type ability like stone skin that instead of nullifying damage, like halves it or quarters it or reduces it, like a percentile reduction rather than...
I mean, that's what steel skin that we made. That's
right.
Yeah, that's why hard make was.
Right, and that feels a lot more fun and interesting and better.
Yeah.
With room for growth even.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, rumor has it one of Gary Gygax's house rules was to add a damage reduction per level of character. So just like a first level character reduce damage by 1, a 9th level character reduces damage by 9, etc. to like account for defensive combat abilities of increasing character level, and to make it so you can survive, I don't know, your high level fighter can survive crazy monsters. Hard to verify considering he's dead, but
that is an interesting house rule.
yeah. I think it's weird and arbitrary to apply it across the board, but I am intrigued by damage reduction abilities.
Mm-hmm.
As like a class feature or as a spell or as, I don't know.
I'm still in favor of finding a way so it's still workable, but have armor do damage reduction instead of damage nullification.
That's how I imagine reworking it. Have AC be entirely from Dex.
Mm-hmm. Have it
and
be
fighting
evasion.
styles, and then have armor basically just be damage reduction.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, I mean, as long as
anyways.
they're going on that route, then combat should be opposed attack rolls or opposed combat rolls, and the winner deals damage and the loser takes damage. I like that system.
Can you not both take damage?
I guess if you equal, then you hit each other at the same time, or you both damage each other. If
Yeah.
it's a tie.
There are systems that have the player do all the rolling. Right? You just like don't even bother rolling as a DM. The players just like have a defense and an offense. And like when they're fighting just so that like what fun is it to have orcs rolling? They're not in this game. It's all about the hero.
Right.
And so you've got like a defense roll versus an orcs attack DC or whatever.
That's fascinating. And then if you miss their combat whatever, then they would hit you.
You'd roll both.
Right,
like
right.
you'd get, I think each round you'd get an attack and a defense opposed rolls. I'm not sure which game. Maybe it's Warhammer. I'm not sure which system I'm even thinking of. I don't think we've talked about Devon at all this segment.
Yeah. We can move on from the fantasies of reworking the combat system, which have been churning for 20-something years now and made no real progress on. So, Devon.
Do you remember what level we were talking about for, what did we call was it just minor disintegrate? Or disintegrate? Wait, there already is minor disintegration, like the clawing thing where you can, like, your claws melt.
Right.
Did we make any notes or were we just spitballing there?
I don't have any notes. I don't have any digital notes. Lesser disintegrate, 1 cubic foot per level. Touch is all I have written down.
Yeah, okay, so that's what we were working on.
But isn't that what extrude became? Aren't they?
Oh.
Isn't extrude what?
Except extrude doesn't disintegrate. Extrude like moves material and does some.
Yeah, but I thought extrude is what this became. Like after discussion, it became extrude.
Yes, I think because this was a lower level version. There's a lower level way to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish.
Oh,
However, because we decided that lesser disintegration would be like a 4th or 5th level spell, I think.
Okay.
Right? What level is dig? Is that 3rd level?
4th level.
4th level. So I think we saw that it was at least as powerful as dig in terms of moving material.
Yeah, well, dig moves 5 cubic feet per level. And has a duration of 1 round per level?
Yeah, and later rounds you can expand the hole or dig a new hole.
Right, but you're doing 5 cubic feet per level per round. So at ninth level, you're doing 81 cubic feet of earth. So, well, do you want to do a lesser disintegration where you like touch things and it falls apart in your hands?
I mean, eventually, maybe. I don't know if it's
hey, we have
now.
a lesser disintegration spell.
We have a minor disintegration. Did we already make it?
The caster's hand is imbued with power, causing anything touching it to disintegrate into its molecular components. Okay. When used to dig, the caster may clear an area equal to 1 cubic feet per round. When used to make a touch attack, it deals d12 damage per hit, no bonus for strength. To cast, the wizard must coat their hand in some sort of fine powder, sand, or dust. There we go.
Past Neal and Ryan.
Fucking
Good work,
done.
Guys.
Yeah.
Source Devon's spellbook. Mission accomplished.
That was the fastest spell we've ever made. Okay. Well,
should we do? We should. I feel like maybe some narrative catch up might be in order. We might need a higher. Actually, maybe extrude as it stands is enough to do what I want to do. But Devon has talked a lot of talk about raising mountains and lifting Necrot to its proper place in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at some point there will literally be Devon raising mountains to build up Necrot.
So how does Devon raise a mountain? Which, by the way, I love. Absolutely love the idea of raising mountains. But I had no idea how you do it.
I think initially it will be experimentations with extrude and maybe a minor gateway. So like opening portals to the elemental plane of. Initially, actually, when I read the spell, I thought that's what I would be doing. But I didn't realize that it just makes a temporary wall and then closes. I thought it would like make a temporary wall and then like
earth would like fly out.
Yeah. So I think there will be some of that. Extrude is a 3rd level spell. So let's see, 1 cubic foot per level, 9 cubic feet. That's like, well, it's like 9 feet tall and 1 foot on a side. Oh, you've got a cute baby.
Oh, this little guy over here?
What were you thinking to call him?
Little shit.
Oh my gosh. What did he do?
Oh, well, it doesn't show well. He bites a lot. There's just always scars and cuts and like bleed wounds on me from little piece of shit. Not as cute as a baby.
Our baby sometimes claws us when we don't keep up on her nails.
Yeah. But does she growl at you and hiss at you when you pick her up and take her from the place where she wants to be inside? This little guy. You taking him for a walk outside, he doesn't want to come home, but you're tired and cold. You pick him up, you just get this low growl and a hiss followed by bites and claws. It's just Lauren needs to come back so she can walk the cat. I'm not a cat walking sort of guy.
No one should be.
I prefer dogs.
I feel like you don't need to walk a cat.
You don't, but there are mountain lions and bears, and I don't want to feed the wildlife by letting the cat outside on his own, which is what happens in this area. You feed the mountains if you leave your cats outside.
What about just having a house cat?
That was the plan, but this guy, he sees outside and he wants it. He wants it so bad, and Lauren is so weak. She is so weak with this guy. He'll whine and she'll be like, okay. Now goes on a harness and goes on 2 walks a day practically every day. Mm-hmm. Fucking spoiled monster. This is what happens when it's the pandemic and you've got tons of free time with absolutely no obligations. You get a cat and you start walking it. And then you're stuck walking a cat for 15 years because there was one bad year in there.
Oh, wow. So, Necrot.
Mm-hmm. Necrot.
I think we start with Devon experimenting with his extrude spell and just like wandering out into the like experimenting in the Red Hills, ripping earth from the earth and just like forcing up pillars of dirt.
Love it.
Just right, he had a vision, right, of Necrot rising up above, and there being in some future there being giant mountains here. So he's chasing
but he also
visions.
had visions of a large tower made of stone rising from above Necrot as well. So do you build the mountain or do you build the tower?
The tower first. I'm thinking I think we're seeing like the first stepping stones in the mountains. Like I think the tower is the goal, and the mountains are the unintended consequences, or the unintended side effects, or like the experiments along the way. Right. So these are the hill. Like, so this is him chasing visions, probably maybe with the use of the Sirona. So he's like trying to feel out the legend lore of the future of this place while like acting upon it. So just out there like channeling visions of what this place is supposed to be, or like the legends of Necrot or the legends of Devon as he's like acting them out. And it's probably not a valid use of the item, so it may just be like a weird, entrancing, intoxicating experience where he's like, I don't know, wizardly mental masturbation. Thinking about yourself and your power while you
I could build such big mountains. Oh yeah, I could like dig into the elemental planes. Oh
yeah, great artifact. Tell me about the legend of Devon.
Exactly.
What a great wizard.
That sounds very accurate.
Yeah. So I think initially there's just these little pillars appearing in the hills of just like the red dirt itself, like projected up, and it probably kind of collapses back down because I'm not creating an extra material. But eventually, and I guess I need an assistant to hold open the elemental planes of Earth. But I think what we do next, when we start doing for the tower, am I gonna ruin my house if I try and build my tower in my house? Probably.
Yeah, don't build it in your house, but you know, build it.
Does my tower start next door or something?
Yeah.
Or does it start out in the hills somewhere?
Well, I think the tower starts at the top of town, like where the Quanot is.
Yeah, I mean, my house is already there. Like, there's the Quanot, and there's my little hut next to it, and then I think there's some hills, and there's a vineyard back there.
Yeah.
And then so like, okay, up behind the Quanot, or like the hill behind Devon's house and the Quanot.
Yeah, like right above the Quanot is probably a good spot to build your tower, you know, so that we've got water coming out below it. You're already at the top of the hill, so you've got the best view possible, plus the height of the tower.
And so we have the and with, let's see, if I ditch my permanent spells, I've got 75 MP. And so what I can do is open a minor gateway to the elemental plane of Earth. And the assistant holds it open while Devon spams extrude to just pull elemental Earth out of the, And this isn't weak red dirt. This is elemental rock, the very essence of rock. The platonic ideal of rock, the divine ideal.
The Devon idea?
Yeah. Can I randomly roll on that table and roll another 8? 13. That's got to be something interesting.
Oh my god. Oh.
And of course, I'm not using it to mine. This is just like the freaking wall of my house, but...
Contained within the earth that you pull out are... I guess you're pulling out a lot of material, are all these little semi-precious gemstones embedded within the earth itself.
So I think that winds up being like the ground floor of my apartment, or my tower. Or maybe like by the time the tower is fully made, this will be the top of it. That's actually pretty cool. The spell is so cursed.
Gem encrusted, but bedazzled tower top. Love it.
So let me do some quick math on, let's see, if I think it's 13 MP for a 3rd level spell. Am I right? Let me...
Ooh, I need to go grab the door real quick.
Oh, is this your food?
Yeah, it arrived like 14 minutes ago. It's been just sitting out
sitting
on a
there.
front door. Oh my god.
Somebody stole Neal's food. All right, I'm doing some math to figure out how many spells I can cast. So a 3rd level spell costs 12 MP. Devon has 75. So I think that's still 6. This is my 6 fireballs problem. Right, 6 times 12 is 72. So I can do 1 minor gateway to open up the elemental plane of earth, and then 5 extrudes to make 45 cubic feet. Let's see. I guess I could learn fabricate, but that's no fun. And the problem with fabricate is that you can only create things that you are skilled enough to create. So if you don't have any construction proficiencies, you make a really crappy house. And if you aren't a weaponsmith, you create a really crummy sword. And if you aren't a gem cutter, you can't turn these raw gems into a gem of any value. Yeah, I guess I do have spare proficiencies I could get for construction, but that seems like a waste. That's where Georg was going, and he never had enough time to learn fabricate. So let's see, 45 cubic feet. What do I do with 45 cubic feet? Making an 8-foot tall. Let's buy. Mm-hmm. Yo.
There we go.
Not too cold, I hope.
No. It is hot soup and momos.
Yum. Are those Tibetan dumplings or something?
They are. Well done.
Tasty.
Soup might not be the best thing to eat while playing Dungeons and Dragons, but Tibetan tentuk, oh my god, it's so good.
What is Tibetan tentuk? Is that the name of the restaurant or something?
No. Tentuk is a type of soup.
Oh, yum.
These flat noodles.
There
we go.
Although actually, now that I think about it, my apprentice can probably only hold portal. Oh no, we said hold portal was concentration, right? Or is it concentration up to 1 round per level or something?
Hold
portal. 1 round per level.
We made a special one. There's an abjuration hold portal.
Special. 1 round per level of the caster, although this time starts when the caster finishes channeling. So in theory, my assistant can stand there. Probably only a number of rounds equal to their constitution or something like that, but however you would determine channeling. Or maybe you need to start making checks after a certain point. So I can extrude 45 cubic feet of the elemental plane of earth. We weren't super specific in the AoE. I mean, the AoE is the 1 cubic foot per level. In general, I was imagining it making a spike, but it seemed the way it's worded, it could almost make any shape. So I could probably extrude it into a sheet or other such shapes.
Mm-hmm. I think probably not when you first get the spell, but by the time you're 9th level, I think you can alter the shape of the stuff you pull out. I
think when you first get it, I think it's kind of a crude spell in that you're just applying a force. It's not delicate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Cheers.
Still have to mix everything together.
Go fetch your limes.
We are unfortunately out of limes and out of rum. Nope, there's backup rum. I take it back. Always backup rum. Okay, so you extrude a bunch of earth.
45 cubic feet.
And you bring it out.
Encrusted earth.
And these sheets.
Yeah, pillars and sheets to like form like the walls of of the beginning of a tower. And this probably continues. What would happen if I tried to like open the elemental plane of earth under what I've just made and pull it up higher? Or I could like, to make a second floor, do I open the portal there and extrude on top?
Oh, yeah, you could. Well, the portal's not that big, right? So you would need to like extrude and like place panels almost, maybe, or
Except I can't really manipulate them in space. I'm more thinking just like jutting material up. Let's see.
Maybe this is where you get your giant friend to help you move the things that you pull out of the earth.
Yeah. After this first one, I need giant friend, and then I need Akitos. Was he the construction guy?
Yeah, he was the rough construction man who was helping make your rammed earth home.
AoE 20-foot radius. That's pretty big.
Oh, that is huge.
Yeah. Although that's like the air is within 20 feet.
Oh, it's 20-foot radius from the gateway, but it's not, the gateway's not a 20-foot radius.
So it doesn't actually say how big it is.
Right. This whole time I've been imagining something
The water
human height, basically.
Yeah, let's see. The water 30 by 10 by 10. Let's see. So it's probably, is it just a 10 by 10? Is that what you're thinking?
In that ballpark, yeah.
Yeah. Can I use the disintegration, the lesser disintegration to fuse material together? Like, could I, if I have like roughly placed stones, could I like disintegrate and like meld them with my hands? Or would like how would they reform?
You almost need like a disintegrate and then like a fabricate or something.
Okay.
Fabricate is a 5th level spell.
Yeah, chat was trying to pressure me into getting it, but I don't want it.
The spell that does exactly what you're hoping for.
It's a great spell, but I don't know if that. Yeah. Fabricate almost makes this all too easy, but maybe I do need it.
Spellcaster can fabricate a wooden bridge from a clump of trees, rope from a patch of hemp, clothes from flax or wool, and so forth. Magical or living things cannot be created or altered by a fabricate spell. Quality of items made by the spell is commensurate with the quality of material used. If the caster works with a mineral, the area of effect is reduced by a factor of 27, 1 cubic foot instead of 1 cubic yard. So
that's meant to be a buff. It's like if you have the raw material, you don't need as much of it, right?
I guess.
Right?
I don't know why that would.
Because I think they're using the word mineral and they don't know what they mean. Like, mineral is a specific molecular like a natural material with a particular molecular arrangement.
Right, and I don't think they mean a scientific mineral. I think they mean like.
I think they mean like if it's dirt or a rock instead of like
rock or earth, yeah.
Instead of like pure iron or I don't know. But I feel like if you are trying to make something, I don't know, out of quartz and you've just got a chunk of mineral quartz, that should be as close as you can get. Or if I'm trying to think of other minerals you might want to make something out of. You probably wouldn't make something out of a mineral, but.
Okay. Well, fabricate will definitely
think-
do what you need it to do, because you can pull out rock and earth, and even if it's 1 cubic foot per level, you can use a few fabricate spells to make everything that you need, and then you could like minor disintegrate this to then refabricate it together again. I mean, we could create some sort of welding spell that fuses 2 things of a similar type together, or turns loose material solid. You could turn sand into sandstone, or you could turn loose earth into...
So it's sounding like I do want to learn this fabricate spell. Where did these extra dimensional pockets and manipulation come? Tome of Magic. How did Georg not get these?
What pockets are you talking about?
Extra dimensional pocket, extra dimensional manipulation. Anyways. Not worth thinking about now.
Okay.
I mean, I guess the most effective way to do this is to learn fabricate. I felt like it was more interesting to make it rough with brute force, but it seems like fabricate's the way to go.
Yeah, we could find a lower level solution that would be more gritty and complicated, but I don't know why. Seems like fabricate the specifically designed to overcome this problem.
Where does Devon get his higher level spells?
I think he researches them.
Yeah.
I think
are there any other wizards in the area?
Not high enough to teach you anything. There was Seltzer's spellbook and Atropos. Those were
I got to the end of those, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Where does he get a library? Let's see. I think he might. I mean, this is like the early days. Is this the Age of Mist? Where are we?
Yeah, this is really early days. I think that we skip years while Devon.
I think Devon writes his library is where this is what this comes down to. Like there's no Georg throwing money at the problem and importing books. This is Devon using his like legend lore, Serona, to divine information from the cosmos and carving it into stone tablets
and then visiting with Atropos and huffing fumes from the earth to like open your mind to new possibilities.
Reluctantly studying Drexel's laboratory for ancient secrets, etc., etc.
Yeah, you're a real William Picard.
He is literate. He's got cartography, archaeology. Yeah. Is paper a thing? Do we have like papyrus and paper, or was I not joking about the stone tablets?
I think those such things can be created, but they are not kept in high quantities at this moment around this area. It's more probably like we'll make paper to make paper lanterns to diffuse light, rather than we'll make it to write on, because if you're passing sheets around and you're making old style papyrus or old style paper and you don't do it very well, its structural integrity is questionable. So you can create a paper industry here as well. I think Devon is turning this section from podunk to something.
Yeah. So I think initially it's probably stone tablets.
You have an endless scroll as well.
I do have an endless scroll, but I don't think that's where like I don't think I use that. That's for spells. That's not a research library. So the endless scroll is where I haven't written on it yet, but eventually I will. And I'll need to get magic or special inks, right? That's for making scrolls. That's not for making. Can you use the endless scroll to transcribe scrolls, or is this just a spell book?
You would probably have to destroy it then, because when you cast a spell, it breaks the paper.
Okay. So should I roll a spell learn chance to learn that disintegrate spell that I made? We should.
Yeah. Right, but you've got a few levels in which to do it, so.
Well, it's level 4, so I would have gotten it level 7. But I don't need to. It was spell research. It wasn't spell. So I don't know. It doesn't matter. I was just thinking that would be a convenient way to be able to write, carve into tablets. Like take a tablet and then you just like disintegrate.
Oh, with your finger, like minor disintegrate. Oh, that's really cool.
It's probably not the most efficient use, but if you've got something that you quickly want to jot down. Minor disintegration. I think you've got to crush it in your hand, right? Yeah.
We're talking lesser disintegration, not
Lesser
minor
disintegration is what I would need to learn. Yeah. Yeah. So I think Devon creates the first library here in Necrot. Initially, and I think first like documenting all that he knows. Right. He's skilled as a cartographer, etc. And literacy, his folklore, spellcraft, arcanology. So I think he starts just recording what he knows for posterity, or what Atropos tells him, and then cartography. He like makes maps of the areas from his journeys, and then he begins consulting with the divine, with the Sorona, and like learning new things and recording those down as he has his visions, rather than just using them in the moment.
Right.
And all of this carving in stone tablets becomes such a pain that I think at some point a papercraft industry will spring up in Necrot to fuel Devon's demand and his apprentices' demand. Is it Cassandra? And maybe in the future more apprentices will come.
I mean, you need to teach your apprentices about patience and time as well. So having them
So maybe
make your
Cassandra
shit.
is the first paper maker. And she will maybe delegate down the line like some farmers down in the snake grass or on that bay there to like bring in the raw materials. She turns into paper. You know, with fabricate, you could make paper, right?
But
take grass and turn it into paper.
Yeah. And with the calculator, you can do all of your math homework, but like you still got to learn the practice to appreciate the thing. So even if you can fabricate it, like there's something to be said to have your apprentices do it for you. We got to work for it.
Cool stuff. Yeah. Do you want a break so you can eat, or what are you thinking?
No. I'm
all right. Is
pretty
there
much
any
full for the time being anyway.
And I would like to point out once again we have glossed over a wedding episode. It's never there's never going to be a Koibu wedding episode campaign.
You know, yeah, we gloss over the wedding. We gloss over Van's wedding. We gloss over all the weddings.
Have you had a wedding? Did any did Devotion have a wedding?
At the
episode?
very end of Devotion, some characters got married, but there wasn't much to it. It was sort of like, there's a marriage, but then like the other romantic partner shows up on horseback, interrupting the wedding, promising to take you away. And based on the prophetic visions you've had, you know if you go with him, the world will eventually fall into peace, but you will have a sad, miserable life. And if you pick your existing partner, then the world will fall to shit, but you will have like a happy life with your partner while the world burns around you. And they picked their happy ending instead of, the world's happy ending. Selfish bastards.
Spoilers. We did talk about the coins that came out of that wedding, or were those the invites? I don't remember. The copper coins with Dorboff and Guam, or whatever you're.
Devon and Helen.
Yeah, there. Oh, cool. Your notes.
Look at that. Your tax collector's named Penelope, apparently.
I think that's my mother-in-law, isn't it? Or is that separate?
Elder's wife is head of the copper mine and coin production.
Okay.
So this is random tax collector.
This is where all the money comes to fuel my spell research.
If you ever need money, you can just like dig up your floor from the tower and pull out some gemstones.
I love it. So, is there any lore you are keen to drop on us? Like, so Devon spends some time reluctantly at Drexel's workshop, taking notes, making notes, and there are incidental random consultations with legend lore to improve my knowledge base and fill my library with my bottomless pit of a library with all the knowledge in the universe. Yes. I am Afterpost's apprentice through and through, whether I like to admit it or not.
What I do have for you is not in that vein, only that there are growing, as the years inevitably roll by, and the wealth and stability of Necrot spreads to the nearby areas. There are people who begin to set out on small boats and kind of like come up and explore this coastline that you've already visited, but not in a peaceful way, but in a, we're coming to raid these coastlines to steal their shit.
Where do they leave from? Home. From Necrot?
From this section of coast over here. They begin to take to piracy is not quite the right. They go a Viking. That's the phraseology I'm looking for.
Where do they sail from? Where are the ports? Or where the ports get built?
These are tiny little villages, and it just starts with people going.
So it's probably like the whole village is like, all right, let's band together, and we're building a boat, and all the men from the village are getting on the boat, and we're leaving from this forest,
and we're all going to row out here, and if we come back, we're going to come back with whatever we've taken from these people, and that's how it starts. Yeah.
That's troubling. I believe with Legend Lore doesn't let me see the future or anything, right? It's
correct.
Past lore based. That's why I'm not getting anywhere when I'm trying to see my own future or like hear the legends of myself when they haven't quite been written yet.
Sometimes you can like catch little glimpses of the future where it's so clear to everyone in the world that this is how things will inevitably go that you can see a little bit in the future. And so you can kind of tell where you're headed, but only for things that are really secure.
This is like the ye old equivalent of Googling yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Devon's constantly like looking himself up on the internet to see what his reputation and presence are. So anyways, the coastal raiders. I don't know there's still an elder for now. So he calls the shots, although he's probably getting older. So I don't know what his take on this is. I think Devon it's troubling news. The reason I was asking about seeing the future is like he would look to the future and see, but obviously he can't. But I think even just that's not a great. I don't know. Doesn't seem like a good idea. That will bring trouble to these waters and trouble to the land. But Devon doesn't necessarily see these people as his direct responsibility or subjects. So I think initially he's content to ignore this and then ultimately probably even benefit from it. As in like the raiders will go, they'll raid up the coast, bring goods back and sell them to Necrot.
Yeah, that's perfect. Which will lead me to the
long term what happens here. But yeah, I think short term we are content to ignore it, turn a blind eye, and inadvertently benefit from the trade goods that this raiding brings in.
Which brings us to the next bit of development is that after this Viking style raiding begins to produce real returns and the people reach further and further on their boats, people start coming looking for the source of these boats, not so much to fight them, but to pacify them, to trade or pay tribute, or to come and see what sorts of things that these mysterious boat people have acquired that they might be willing to sell or trade for, which prompts the necessitation of a real port town rather than a series of like random villages that each have their own nonsense. There needs to be some place where distant trade can be started.
Maybe that accidentally falls to us because it's probably, I mean, if we're trading with these raiders, maybe initially they're bringing their goods into Necrot. But eventually they may set up a more permanent settlement where we can go and buy and trade stuff with them. And then where the foreigners are going to want to come. I mean, I think the logical spot is probably in this bay, right?
Somewhere where you've got shelter from big storms that would come by. Somewhere that, the water is deep enough you can receive ships, but is also calm and stable enough, shallow enough that it's not going to be a mess to deal with. So this bay over here is prime territory.
Does the Elder have ambitions of getting involved with this, or is this all springing up outside of our jurisdiction?
By the time we're talking about raiders coming and going and pre-planning cities, the Elder just doesn't have the stomach for the bureaucracy and the organization of all these people, and he doesn't know so very many of them. He was the Elder of Necrot, knew the people of Necrot, but now that we're dealing with all of these outsiders, he's getting too old for that shit. So he will happily take on a minor role, maybe like overseeing one specific sub thing. Like maybe he will help oversee the construction of whatever port town this is, or maybe he'll oversee, some facet of the construction. But he's getting ready to step down from actual leadership roles. His son-in-law is doing great. His daughter's, in a high position. His family's got all the money they need. Elder's happy to retire. Phase it out.
I think Devon also has a similar lack of interest and patience in the leadership, at least in the details of it. So I'm guessing at least for the next couple of decades, his wife will probably de facto be running Necrot from a day-to-day basis, and Devon will probably he's clearly has judgments and his perspective, but probably serves more in an advisory capacity or as a figurehead.
Yeah.
Depending. Although he may show up occasionally and be like, I'm in charge, putting my foot down here. I think the way the power balance shakes out, initially, I mean, the Elder's wife was running the economy as the master of coin, although she's getting up in the years too. Is there a line of succession at this point in Necrot, or has it always been pretty informal from Elder to Elder?
It's been pretty informal. There's no book of laws or anything like that. So
I think I think Devon is writing that book of laws. I think that's in that's in this first library, and it's probably just recording what has happened in the past. But
yeah, so you will have to pick a line of succession. You'll have to decide how you want to do that.
Well, it seems like Devon becomes the next Elder of Necrot, although the father-in-law has not passed away quite yet.
Oh, I thought you meant line of succession after Devon.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that we'll see. Or maybe we'll leave a Republic in our in his wake. So I think Devon will eventually become the next Elder, but de facto his wife will be running the day-to-day in the city. Do you have a future of Necrot, of where it ends up, that we should be steering for?
We are headed right for it. I don't think I need to redirect us or solidify it in any way, shape, or form. It's been working out great so far, so I'm happy to.
I'm just curious. Like, do you know what the government is by the time?
Oh no, I don't care what the government is. That's fine. I've got some ideas of things, but nothing about government.
Okay. And what and where this port city needs to turn up being? Is that?
Well, you suggested the exact spot that I have already planned for it. So
is there a city on this map in the future?
Yes. Yes, there is. Right here, right in this little hex.
This one here on the coast there? Okay.
Which is right where you wanted to put it anyway. I mean, I guess you pointed to this tile, but, somewhere in this... You probably wouldn't want to be 10 miles into the bay. You want to be a little bit... And this bay,
it probably gets a little too shallow for, like, large ships to come. Like, it's maybe more of a lagoon, or maybe it's slightly tidal. So, like, at low tide, like, this gets really low, and you couldn't bring up a big galley.
Yep.
What is the name of this city? Does it have one in the future, or is it just a village?
I mean, it has a name in the future, but you can name it whatever you want. Names will change as the thousands of years roll by. I can look up the actual name that I end up with.
I'm thinking maybe now, like, I think initially it probably gets called, like, Raiders Bay. Or, like...
I think that ends up being called Shelter Bay? Maybe... Where is it hiding? Where's Empires of Arcadia? I think it's Shelter Bay.
Tides Bay? Or is that just a suggestion?
It is definitely Shelter Bay is what it ends up being called.
Okay. I think initially it's probably Raiders Bay, and that gets rebranded. Or maybe, like, the Raider, we begin trading with the Raiders, and they're on our side. And if you're coming at the bay from this side, you have shelter from the Raiders, right? Like, if you are...
Oh, yeah.
Right, if you're an outsider coming in, you are at the mercy of the Raiders, but from here...
Okay, so maybe this becomes the Raiders still live out on this section of coastline or whatever, and then they do their raiding, and then they come up to here to trade as, like, a centralized point. And then
I think if you come, like, initially it's probably a mess. Like, traders would come in and get, like, intercepted and robbed, and this becomes a problem, and people want to stop trading. So I think eventually... Maybe Devon even needs to come in and, like, bring down the law and be like, look, this isn't going to work. Like, he's got a shipment of, I don't know, some specialized ink or something coming in, and it gets raided and lost and broken, and he's pissed off and comes and be like, this isn't going to work. You've got to let trade come through. So the arrangement gets to be, okay, if you come to this trade hub, you have shelter from the raiders. You are off limits from the raids.
Right. So, and then the Raiders can continue all of their stuff, and it's Raiders Bay, Shelter Bay, depending on, perspective.
The time period and the perspective. Right. But eventually a truce gets made where you will have shelter from the Raiders if you come and you do trade here.
Perfect. Love it.
And in the meantime, there's probably a cut of the, there's probably a tax, a tariff on trade goods here that gets distributed up the coast to the raiders.
Yeah.
Basically, this is how you get the truce gets made. Is like you pay off the raiders. Like, look, stop robbing the people that are coming here to trade with you, and we'll give you 10% of everything they bring in, and you don't even have to work. Well, they probably protect the coastline or something like that.
They were gonna have to do something for it. Nothing's free in this world.
And this probably, I don't know what Sinus was like, if they were at all a trade hub, but this probably, okay, this probably keeps them podunk. Right, because now no one is going to go trade with Sinus. They'll come to Shelter Bay, because if they get caught bypassing Shelter Bay, they're at the mercy of the raiders.
Right.
So, like, any trade ships that would try to circle around and do trade in Sinus, maybe it works out and they don't have to pay the taxes, but maybe they get hit by a raider along the way.
And this whole area over here had just been like random fishing because there's no raidable coastlines nearby. They'd have to go all the way around the fucking peninsula to get anywhere. So these people might try to pick up raiding specifically to look for people who try to bypass the fees and taxes at Shelter Bay.
Yeah.
Nice. Excellent.
Do you want to do another break, or shall we just power through to the end of the episode?
Well, I think where are we going? Because I don't know what else to do with Devon for today. We've made a couple magic items. We made some spells. We skipped in time. We built a city. We're building a city.
Yeah, there will be more of the same. We will be wrenching a tower from the ground, from the elemental plane of Earth. Building up Necrot. Doing wizard stuff. I mean, there's spells to learn. Do more potions and scrolls, but eventually magic items to make. Further down the line, maybe Devon gets tempted by Drexel's workshop and we can do some monster creation.
I think I'm pretty good here. For the future, I want to have a little bit of prep planned, because today there wasn't much put together for this, just a couple of broad ideas. And I'd like to continue doing sort of this informal style of character progression, but also intermix it with some actual, combat and RP and more traditional D&Ding. But I don't have anything today for that. So we can call it here. We can undertake another task or two, but I think we are nearing the end.
Yeah, sounds about right. We're getting raided by those. Maybe it was all the talk of Raiders Bay.
The Raiders Bay. Well, welcome to the Squidzilla ink. Seems quite appropriate that you lost your ink in the water, and now the Squidzillas are here with more ink for you. Wonderful. Prophetic.
So, do you have it? I was fishing for lore on Drexel's laboratory or other avenues. Is there anything you want to leave us with there?
I want to leave you with something. I just don't have anything to leave you with at this moment. Yeah.
I can be your prep for next session.
Wow.
Maybe we're wrapping up.
I think we might be wrapping up-ish here. Because I think we've covered all of the Devon things that we had set out to do for now. And we really just need to figure out... Well, I need to sort out some RP elements for us to dig into. And I guess you don't have anything to do for the future.
What do you mean? You mean I personally don't have any...
Yeah, I guess it's just on me to plan some elements for us to dig into.
Yeah, I can come up with ideas for magic items to make and...
How you want to craft your wizard tower, how many floors it's going to have, what it's going to look like. Big question, Ryan. How many bathrooms do you put in a wizard tower?
Only one, as long as your wife is paying for it.
Nice.
I think if you're a wizard, you come up with a much better solution. You have like an ooze that digests your waste, or like that's really the best way, right?
Yeah, you get a gelatinous cube, sits in a pit, and you just hang your butt over the side of the pit, and there's your waste management system.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, why don't we pull this ship in for a landing then?
I think so. I feel like there's more to do, but there's always more to do, right?
There's always more to do. We're a little out of practice.
Yeah. Good stuff. Does Devon have a hot tub? Asking the real questions.
See, what you need to do is create like a permanent minor gateway to the elemental plane of fire and situate it underneath like a stone pool, so it constantly heats the pool to give yourself a hot tub.
What could go wrong? I do have a question. All of these minor gateways that Devon has been opening around the land, have there been any consequences? I mean, there was that earth elemental that I accidentally... Oh, I remember something that I wanted to do. We'll do this next time. I wanted to create maybe I've already talked about this with you 6 months ago. I want to do a wizard spell called like direct or conduct or something like that, that is equivalent to the priest's command, but it can only be given to like unintelligible constructs. So like an elemental, or like maybe a zombie if it's a free-willed undead, or like a construct, or like a golem.
Yeah.
So it's like a first level spell that's like a one round. You can issue the equivalent of command. It's obviously non-verbal because this is to like an unintelligent creature.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, like you first level spell to give a 1 round command to an automaton or something, or to your golem, or to an elemental, or whatever sort of falls into that category.
Mm-hmm.
But we can make that next time. I think it'd basically be command but reworked to
only 0 int creatures.
I don't know if it'd be intelligence, but I think it'd be like constructs and automatons. Yeah, probably only.
What about oozes and jellies and slimes?
I feel like no. I'm not sure why no, but
No,
I think
go
it
with
needs
your
to
gut.
be. Yeah, I think it needs to be like
Something magically made, something constructed.
Yeah, I mean the main idea is like it could be like for your own creations, or for like if you come across an elemental and you're like, shit, get away from me, and you issue a command to get away. Or if you stumble across another wizard's golem, you can like cast it to like try and get the golem to leave you alone. I want to look up and see if elementals have intelligence. That might throw a wrench in the works.
Do you not have a copy of the Monstrous Manual?
I do. I'm just super lazy.
Okay.
That would be a copyright problem if I was here browsing a digital version and I don't own a physical copy of it right here. All right, elementals.
Ooh, they have int.
They do have intelligence. So
5 to
maybe
7.
but I feel like I should be able to give commands to elementals. I might just need to specifically call out that you can.
Well, there's a whole section on
direct.
controlling an elemental.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe I need to do my homework and read that. Stealing control of an elemental. You dispel magic.
Dealing with control.
All you need, you just cast a dispel magic to control the elemental.
Oh.
I'm gonna read about this. This is interesting. For next time. And potentially hunt down that earth elemental that's wandering the Red Hills.
Yeah.
And maybe try to control it.
Uh-huh.
Capture it or bind it or something.
There will be other things that come through these portals from time to time, especially if you're doing a lot of practice with them and building a tower out of them. We will deal with some of these things, but maybe your controlling of an elemental will act as like an elemental guard. When we come back next week in 6 months, or not really, we'll have something on controlling elementals, and that's probably what we'll be digging into for RP, is how you end up controlling this elemental if you can, and then how you might be able to use that to prevent further monsters from coming through these portals as you try and build a town.
Or maybe, I was kind of expecting some of them might. I mean, initially the earth elemental came out, killed some construction workers, and then wandered away into the Red Hills.
Right. And you're going to probably want to prevent that from happening, or at least be able to direct it. Something. Say no and go back home.
Yeah.
Right.
Having a command like spell that, although an elemental probably has a crazy save versus spell, don't they?
Yeah.
Like they're gonna be like 25 hit die, right? Oh, 8, 12, or 16.
Yeah.
So 8 would be manageable. 16 hit die is probably gonna be tough to boss around.
70% of the time, an uncontrolled elemental will immediately attack the person or party who conjured it, destroying anything that stands between it and its enemies.
I don't know if it counts as if you open a portal. I don't think it counts as conjuring an elemental. I think that's you leave a door open and it wanders through.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we'll dig into some elementals next week.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do some monster creation at Drexel's workshop. Or city building, etc. Are we content to do Devon for the near future? Or,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm very content. There were some things that I wanted to do with Devon that we never got around to doing, so I want to continue with this.
And I think this disjointed nature will lend itself to fatherhood. We can take random breaks after a 20-minute spell crafting session or something like that, and
Dicing with
we got to do.
Dicing with Death has always been avant-garde Dungeons and Dragons, so this new there's a baby at the same time style really works well with what we do here.
Of course.
Cool.
Of course. I need Devon, in addition to his elemental pike, I need to come up with a magical item for Devon that has divine in the name. But it's got to be his signature magical item. I'm not sure what it is, like divine mantle, or I don't know what it is or what it does yet. It's got to be a divine something.
Divine mantle is a cool name,
right? I don't know what it does.
Yeah,
it might be a thing. I don't know. Keep thinking about it, and by the time I figure out what it does, we'll have time skip to 14th level.
So if you guys come up with any cool ideas for Devon's divine mantle or anything, just tweet them at Hobgoblin, and he'll check his Twitter and reply to you right away. I'm sure of it.
I'm not even the Hobgoblin.
Hogoblin. I'm so sorry.
Just post it on Reddit. Ideas for or in the Discord. Ideas for or potions that we can do.
Yeah. So we'll be looking for messages from you guys in the Discord or on the subreddit. And other than that, I think we're gonna go.
Thanks for watching.
Welcome back to Dicing with Death. See you guys next time.